Hello, it's Nikki. How are you doing? I hope you're really well. This is part 3. If you haven't listened to part 1 and 2, feel free to go back and listen to those. But we are continuing our quest of creating your vision for 2022. And again, just to put a disclaimer here, you will know what you need from your year. So this isn't about going bigger and better if that's not what you want to do, or if that's not what you have the capacity to do right now. This might be about just grounding and embedding and working with what you have and building on what happened last year, or building back up from things that have happened. So be really gentle with yourself in this process. And to reiterate once again, I have absolutely no agenda for you. This is not me saying, come on, you've got to do all your big dreams immediately. No, mate, like you might be tired and you might have a lot of other stuff going on. So just give yourself permission, I guess, just to dip your toe in, because that is maybe what you just have capacity for at the moment. Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about today, and this comes up a lot, that I think over the years, many of us have got very good at writing to-do lists or optimizing our notes section of our phone, and really putting our ideas onto paper. Or even if we don't do that, I know many of us have many things swimming around their head at all times of the day and night. I know that I regularly wake up about 10 to 4 sometimes going, oh gosh, I've got to do that thing. Oh, did I send that thing? I've got to pay that bill today. Oh, have I missed the deadline? All of that stuff going on, the mental load basically. And what we can do is we can end up writing more and more things of the stuff that we want to do, and we spend time in that vision and that excitement. But what we don't do is we don't have any capacity for change. We don't have any space. So it's almost the equivalent of just shoving more stuff in a drawer, like, oh gosh, it'll be fine. I'll just wodge it in, or I'll just give it a kick, or I'll just lift it up, or I'll just pat things down here, or trying to put more furniture into a room. We've all been to those people's houses, haven't we, where you're like, wow, you've got a lot of furniture in this house, and everybody's kind of, I remember my auntie and uncle, actually, when they moved into their house, they had this kitchen with this most obscurely shaped big island in the middle. And it was so funny, like being in their kitchen, because everybody just ended up kind of walking around it like they were doing the Farmers in the Den or the Hokey Cokey or something, because you couldn't get to where you wanted in the kitchen. It didn't feel like a workable space. And I think that's what happens with goal setting sometimes, is we just go, right, I'll just add that onto my list, and I'll just say, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life, or I'm going to take all these holidays this year, or I'm going to buy this stuff, or I'm going to make this in my business, or whatever it might be, or I'll throw a kitchen extension into this as well. And unless we really look at how that's going to happen, it's actually going to take the enjoyment away from it, and we're just going to feel quite rubbish and feel that we're just overwhelmed and it's something to do. So the way that you can work with this is to give yourself daily action. And this can work in a daily action, weekly action, quarterly, 6 months. So I know there are things that I want to do in 2022, but even though I've written them on my list, I am not going to touch them until September onwards. And that is a headspace that you have to become familiar with and make friends with, because sometimes the temptation can be like, well, it's on the list, so I've got to get going immediately. And actually, I don't have the capacity to do those things until at least September. And so I'm going to be okay with that. I'm going to be enjoying that process of focusing on other things. But come September, the way that I plan things out will give me that time and space to work on those things. So I remember in 2020 when my son started school, and at the beginning of 2020, even though we didn't know what kind of year it was going to be, I thought that during that month of September, and he didn't start school till like the 24th of September, and they did 3 sets. So some started on the 7th and, you know, a week later and a week later. And he was so desperate to get in there. So he'd been previously at nursery, so he was at home with me. And I just thought, wouldn't that be really nice for us to have that time together before he goes to school? And it really was, and it worked out well. But I had to make that adjustment in the way that I was doing other things. So I wasn't going to say, right, September's going to be the month to do this and this and this and this. It wasn't. It was about going, right, how am I going to make this work? So I want you to think about how this comes up for you. And are you somebody who keeps loading more and more stuff or doing the equivalent of shoving more stuff in a drawer? And there will come a point where nothing else will be able to get in there or move or anything like that. The next thing I want to talk about is permission. And this will come down to lots of layers that perhaps you're not familiar with or you don't spend time with. And they might come up in other ways. They might come up in the way that you're, I guess, operating. So what I want to say is this. Are you giving yourself permission to change? Do you, and this sounds a big question, but do you love and support yourself and care enough to be willing to go for the best version, to go for the ideal version? And this permission is a really difficult thing. And it's something that I have almost had to unlearn, because the way that I grew up, the surrounding area, the school that I went to, we were not encouraged or taught to say, wow, I am living my best life. I am so ambitious. I am achieving my goals. I was talking to somebody the other day and I was saying that school for me was about just going in, like, keep your head down. My mum, the amount of times my mum used to be like, stand up straight, don't curve your spine like that. But it was almost like running, feeling like things were going to come firing at me from all angles. So being in that headspace and being in that conversation with myself about giving myself permission to want what I want and to go for it has really been a work in progress. And the way that I have worked with this, I guess, is to think about the ripple effect of what might happen or how it can create good in the world. So if I, for example, say I want to set a money goal, and I might start off going, right, I really would love to, I don't know, double my income. I'm using kind of stock phrases that we hear on the internet, but say that was my goal. I want to double my income. Very quickly, because of the programming that I have inside my head, I might have those voices of like, but that's not possible, or who am I to do that, or I don't, oh gosh, I mean, why would I need that much money anyway, etc. And actually I have to look at the 360 version of what that looks like and what I would be able to do with that money. And I know that I don't want to just buy more shoes because, you know, women in business is like, oh, you just want to buy more shoes and handbags. Actually, no. I want to show my children the world. That is a big goal for me. But because I have a boy and a girl as well, I really want to show both of them about equality, about women in work. And that is a really important issue. There is a foundation that I want to set up. I would love to put somebody through drama school one day. I want to continue creating content so it can spread far and wide in the world for whoever might need it. So I have to connect with that bigger vision. So when you are stuck in who am I to do this and procrastinating and overthinking things and going into the nitty-gritty of it, really consider what that is like. And if you're out camping, for example, if you build a really robust fire, it's going to warm up more people. It's going to be able to cook more food. It's going to be a more joyous thing. More people can come together and be around it. And it's going to be more sustainable as well. So those are two very important things for you to consider today. As always, I would love to know what's come up for you. And if you're thinking, yes, I do need some kind of support, like I would love to be in a headspace and in a relationship where I can have this conversation with somebody who gets it, because I do get it, because I've been doing it and I've had to have those awkward conversations. I've said those things around a dinner table of stuff that I've done or stuff that I'm doing, and people go, anyway, I've felt all of those feelings. So if you want to do some planning with me, if you want to think about your year ahead, there are so many different options. I guess I've got lots of favorites, but you can come and join Jam and Plan. That's on the 10th of January. That would be a really good one to do. Also, you can come and join your personal brand plan for the next 6 months. And I'll be there with you, having a check-in every single month and being there by your side as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Please rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it with somebody, share it in your stories. Thanks again for being with me, and I will catch you again very soon. Lots of love. Bye.